Antisocial acolytes.
Anyways, this fuck stores that don't exist anymore. We actually have a couple of them here. I have some images. So let's start off with a place that we know and love. Hastings Entertainment.
Is very dear to our heart.
Very near and dear to our hearts. Hastings was founded in Amarillo, Texas in 1968. Wow, really? Hastings is basically just like, imagine Hot Topic, but with a way bigger area. It's like a Blockbuster and a Hot Topic had sex, and there was a GameStop in there too.
Yeah, it's like comic book, CD, library almost, like mini library, and like toys and DVDs in one. It was pretty dope, honestly.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking cool, and I'm kind of amazed that it shut down because it seems like it's just like a no-brainer, like super successful idea. I mean, it lasted for like 40 years, so I guess that makes a little more sense. When did it close down? 2016? They filed for bankruptcy protection in 2016. The company had suffered heavy losses. $140 million in debt. They were granted an extra week to find new investors.
Yeah, I heard a lot of their losses were due to Magic the Gathering cards being stolen.
We shut down Hastings. Well, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into a little life story here. Basically, they closed down. I actually remember this because after you hear the next story, you're gonna figure out why we kept close tabs on them. They were trying to find new investors because they had so much debt, and they closed down because they couldn't find anybody. Then, like, literally, like a week after that, they were like, store closing sale, 1 month only, and then they were selling the fixtures and all this shit, 50% off, 20% off, 100% off. They sold the fucking manager. He made his own comic store or whatever. But we have a very personal connection to Hastings.
Very personal.
It changed our lives. Like, no joke, it literally changed our lives. I'll set the stage, and then I'll let you tell the rest of it, pretty much. When I was, I don't know, 13, 14, whatever, I played Magic the Gathering a shit ton, like all the time. I played it every fucking day, pretty much. Every Friday night Magic, I was there. And eventually, Zach is my best friend. So I was like, hey, get a Magic deck. We were at Target, right? And he was like, okay. And then he was like, he was wearing a jacket, and he was like playing around with it. And he's like, whoop. And I was like, no, don't steal it. No, don't steal it. And he's like, okay. And I put it back, and then I turned my back and started walking away. And yeah, as we walked outside and went back to the mall or wherever the fuck we were, he's like, hey, look what I got. And I was like, I was like, no!
I'm not gonna lie, man. It felt really good. After that, I definitely became a kleptomaniac. This was in 8th grade. I'm hesitant to give the details of what I'm about to because I don't exactly want to endorse and help people steal. But my method of stealing, I was pretty impressed by it for an 8th grader. Not gonna lie. So what I would do, I'd make sure to like have a hoodie on when I went, and I would tuck in my shirt like before going to a place. And so I'd have this hoodie on, and I'd just like have my shirt tucked in and real quick like bloop, and it would just like sit at the bottom because it would catch. And so I'd just like walk around like this with my hands out, so it just looked like I was like holding my hoodie kind of funny, and it was pretty effective, not gonna lie.
I never really saw him do it. I always wanted to be really far away from it because I'm a really anxious person. I was like, I don't want to be caught up
clarify,
in this.
Micah was the accomplice here. He was always the accomplice, did not actually steal anything. We will absolve Micah of that guilt.
So the only time I ever took something that wasn't mine, like from Target, I think you were actually there. I think it was me, you, and your ex-girlfriend, whatever. And there was just a Magic pack laying on top of a trash can outside of Target. Like, no joke. And I grabbed it, and I was like, do I just take this? And then Zach was like, yeah, I mean, it's free. Why not? It's just there. And I was like, okay. And I was like, I had no idea why it was there, but I took it. I feel like it was a sign from the man upstairs to be like, hey, only take stuff if it's not inside of the store, then it's okay. But that wasn't really shoplifting though. I mean, it was really convenient that it happened to be a Magic pack and not just like anything else. And I got a shitty card out of it. It was King Makar, the gold thing. I don't know, it's a pretty bad card. Well, eventually we moved on from Target to Hastings. Dun dun dun, because we used to go there all the time just for fun because it's like a cool place to hang out.
We lived in a very boring town, and a lot of our hangouts would consist of us either going to the mall and just spending the entire day there, wandering around the city aimlessly and just walking around all day, or just going from like Hastings to Target to Walmart, just fucking around.
There was nothing else to do. One time we walked from his house, which is all the way, I mean, it's right next to my house, so I walked over to his house first, I guess. We walked from his house all the way up in the, I guess that's the north side probably, all the way to the mall, which is, we would do that all the time. All the way, literally all around San Angelo, from the south side up to, I guess it'd be the west side. So we went from north, east, south, and then west. We were so tired by the end of the day that we were like, oh god, we just walked like 40 or like 20 miles, something like that. It was crazy. But yeah, I mean, anyways, yeah, we just walk around all the time. So we went, anyways, back to Hastings. We went to Hastings. They actually started having magic nights there, which was even more convenient for two would-be thieves. Did they spider wrap the magic cards or something like that there? I don't think they did.
They only did it for like certain things. I remember one time I attempted to just boldly steal a thing with a spider wrap on it, and the alarm went off and everything. And you were like, "Oh, we should stay to not seem suspicious." And I was just like, "No, I am leaving." And I just walked out and lit the alarms. And that had to be what like tipped them off. Now thinking about it, as to how we got eventually caught. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. The story of how we almost got arrested. Dun dun dun. Actually, it's not clickbait, it's true. One night, one very cold night, we went to Hastings, as we always do. We weren't gonna take anything. We were just there to hang out and play cards and stuff. We were at the mall first, and we went to Hastings. I had a wet floor sign I just randomly found on the ground. I was like, oh, I don't know what to do with this, so I just kept carrying it, and I thought it was a funny little prop. But we got there, we were just hanging out for like a little bit, and then the cops came. I think they went to you first, right?
I remember we were like sitting at the tables, and like they just came up to us and like, "Hey, we gotta talk to you." And they like, I think, separated us and like asked us like, "You got anything in the bag?" Because I had like a little backpack, and I was just like, "Nope, I had some marijuana in my bag." Yeah. And so it was very good that nothing got searched in that instance. But
I almost ratted us out.
They ended up taking us to the Hastings office, so we got a little behind the scenes. They just like kind of scared us and like were talking shit to us pretty much because we were like middle schoolers, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what they were saying.
And the manager was just playing the video on repeat in the background.
I remember seeing like myself like very blurrily and choppily like steal shit and like watching it. And I was like, that's hilarious.
Yeah, but they were like, you know, blah blah blah, and then they asked the manager what he wanted to do, and he was like, just let them go. They're banned. They can't ever come back. And he didn't say anything to us at all. He was like really disappointed in us. You could tell. And I'd like never talked to him before really, but he was so upset. They were like, do you guys get everything? And I left the wet floor sign, so I was like, oh wait, I forgot the wet floor sign. They were like, just get out of here. And when they were questioning us, I was like, do you need to search our bag? He was like, not if you don't have anything in it. I was really anxious, and I was like, I know Zach had the weed in there. So I was like, because I was a baby, it's okay. I wouldn't do that now. Now I just say, yeah. We could have gotten really fucked though. That scared me straight. Like the whole time my teeth were chattering. I was like, are we gonna go to jail? Are we gonna go to jail? Are they gonna tell our parents? And they never did.
I mean, we were like 14, so yeah. I mean, we probably weren't gonna get that severely punished. Could they send us to juvie, I guess, for a little bit? Maybe, I don't even know.
Target actually fucking arrests you though if you steal there. Before that, this is a secret part of the story not many people know. We actually did go to Target, and Mr. Zach did try and take some stuff.
The first thing we did at the night is we went to Target before we ended up going to Hastings. I went there, went to the front, boldly put like 10 packs in my shirt and just walked off. I had the equivalent, I remember, of about $40 of packs. I had specifically, I remembered, a $40 bill in my pocket. So like we were walking around, and eventually this employee came up to us and was like, what do you got in your pouch there? Kind of wish I did this. Like thinking back, I wish I would have been like, what do you mean? I got $40 right here. I'm just carrying this around. How else do you expect me to carry around all these packs? I'm gonna pay for it, but I just got some other shopping to do. Look, here's the money. Don't know if that would have done anything, but that would have been so funny.
Yeah. That's how people get out of it though, because you didn't try and leave. Yeah. So technically you could have probably gotten out of that.
They were taking us out, made us empty the shit. And I remember like pulling the move where you're like nervous and want to escape the moment for a little bit. She was like asking us our age or something, and I was like went into some rant to her where I was like, oh yeah, he looks a lot older. A lot of people when we're hanging out, they'll think he's like 30 or something. And she was like, So after that, I remember us being very shook up from the event, and we were like walking and like, let's just go next door and go over to Hastings and just have some good old Friday night magic and just have a chill day. And we weren't even gonna steal anything, and then that's when we got clapped at Hastings.
I actually asked the cops, I was like, is this about what happened at Target? And they were like, what happened at Target? I was like, oh, nothing. thing, and actually they just were like, oh, okay.
What happened to Target now?
Yeah, I did not know how to handle that. And again, just to clarify, I mean, if you listen to this whole story, this is obviously not an endorsement of shoplifting. This is actually a story of how you should not shoplift because it'll scare the shit out of you. And I have anxiety every time I'm hanging out with somebody and they're like, hey, let's take this chocolate bar. I'm like, no, don't take the chocolate bar. I don't want to go to jail. So don't shoplift. That's the moral of the story. You won't have any fun stories to tell, but also, you know, if we were arrested, we probably wouldn't be here telling you this right now. We'd probably just be like, I don't know, depressed or something. But I actually have a couple more stores I want to talk about. So here's Circuit City. So Circuit City is basically a very, it's basically Best Buy. It's the exact same thing, except it doesn't exist, but I found it actually does exist still.
Oh my god, what are we doing this segment for then? What the fuck you got it on the list for? Take it off. No, shut off the stream.
I think it's a website only. But, I mean, as we all know, Circuit City barely exists now. So that's like saying Sears is still technically has some open storefronts, so I wouldn't count that. But, you know, if they ever move to an online-only thing, does Sears even have it? Well, I'm not going to find out. Yeah, I mean, it literally is just Best Buy. Not really that exciting. Just wanted to see if anybody remembered going there. I do very slightly. And then they turned it into Spirit Halloween, as all dead stores turn into. Last but not least, we also have a very special store called Toys R Us. So this is one, technically still has a website, whatever. This closed down very recently in like they closed down 2018. Toys R Us, man. This was the shit. We used to have one in our hometown as well, which funnily enough was the same building that Hastings was in.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of continuity there.
Another little tidbit about Hastings. After they closed down, me and another friend of mine, Tristan, one day we're just driving around and we went by the empty Hastings and decided to check it out. They had a little drive-through because it was part coffee shop, and we just kind of slid it open and we were like, oh, it's just not locked. And so we just hopped in through the fucking little drive-through window and just saw a bare empty Hastings. Also stole an item from there, so I got the last laugh in the end.
What was it?
There's like this little old, looked like they had like a closet just full of shit, and I think they even had a bunch of security tapes in there still. They had like a bunch of old looking credit card readers that looked like they changed out for new ones a while ago but just left there, so I took one.
Should have stolen a security tape though and seen if you could have gotten our movie. So on Toys R Us, I wish it was still open because I mean, as recently as like, what, 2017, I actually went there and got an amiibo. Because Toys R Us always had the rare shit. Like, whenever I'd go to the next town over, you know, an hour away, they had a Toys R Us there. That's where I would find all the rare games and shit that were, like, out of print, like the RPGs and shit. Like, oh, hey, this Pokemon game that you can't buy anymore is still here. It was just insane. And, like, amiibo collecting, that was also the place to go. They had some pretty okay exclusives, but also you could find old-ass amiibos there that they didn't sell anymore. If you don't know what an amiibo is, a Nintendo figurine.
It's like a baby jellyfish, right? And a neighbor.
An amiibo? Just so everyone knows, I own 150 amiibos, so yeah.
It's way to flex on everyone real quick. I got an amiibo too. Check it.
Is that the Harlequin?
It's the Harlequin Burger King amiibo.
Dude, Burger King underrated, but that's also a different episode.